We'll give people another couple minutes to join. Oh, there's Lynn. Lynn, do you want to run the meeting or?
Feel free. I'm happy to run it too.
I'll let you run it. I ran it last time, so.
Okay. Especially I'm traveling next week, so.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let me pin this Apex LNC, see if you can join our meeting today.
Yeah, we have a pretty light agenda. So if anyone has any topics to add, go for it.
All right, should we get started? Let me kick off recording.
Oh, I kicked it off.
Oh, you already kicked it off?
I forgot last week, which is too bad because Shane had an awesome demo on the LM consumption. So I was really mad. So we'll have to get him to come back and redo it.
Oh, no.
Maybe we'll add some features and he can do it again. Hey, Shane. We were just talking about, I think I forgot to record last time. So
oh no,
we all saw your cool demo, but it was not saved for posterity.
Oh, that sucks. It's funny, for a while when I joined K-Agent community meeting, my main job is to remember hitting that recording button.
we're adding some features to it internally, so maybe in a few weeks we can do a bit of a flashier, fancier demo as we go.
That was the practice round.
Yeah, that would be good. Shane, you need some practice.
Clearly.
All right, let's get started. I think we have a lot of people. By the way, I just pinned one of our contributor, Apex LNC. John, if I pronounce his ID incorrectly. So he basically, he won the, so just so some of you know, we've been running a hackathon around MCP and AI agents from early February to early April, and we just wrap up the results yesterday. And Keith on the call is one of our judges. So Apex LNC, he actually submitted 9 contributions. And I believe all his contribution was after the starting of the hackathon, which he contributed way more even before we start the hackathon. So the 9 contribution he did as part of the hackathon was since February. And he was the winner of the open source contribution category. And I was just talking to John. John, why don't you share the news about we're looking at increasing our maintainer for Agent Gateway too. So John, can you share the news about Apex LNC? I know he's not here, but I will send him the recording.
Yeah, he's been promoted to a maintainer officially, the first other than the initial set of maintainers. So that's very exciting. It's been great work and excited for more to join.
That's awesome. Is my screen sharing working or not working?
Not working.
Not working yet.
That's very sad.
It shared the screen sharing button and nothing else. I've never seen that.
Yeah, sometimes it needs a restart to make it happen. I'll try it again. If not, I'll give it up. Sorry about that. That's very exciting. We're welcoming a new maintainer to the project. So oh, it works. It happens at a good timing too, you know, as we recognize him for his contribution to the hackathon and, you know, for all the other contributions. So that's great news. I want to pass by to everybody. And I believe we're also working towards a couple of people from Microsoft, Jackie, there was one other person also being contributing to Agent Gateway. So John and Keith and other people are working with them, hopefully mentor them to also get on the path of maintainership. I guess Keith, was this the first time you joined actually change employer? I don't know if you want to say anything. Okay, maybe not, Keith. All right, I'm going to move to the next topic. We have new contributors. That's awesome. So it's our Google Sum of Code. Nina, do you want to talk about
Yeah,
that?
I can. I'm not sure if he's on the call, but we'll send him the recording this time. But Abhay has joined the project as the Google Summer of Code mentee. He's going to be working on benchmarking our inference extensions. So right now it's the bonding period, so he's working on some improvements around supporting inference pool for traffic policy. So hopefully that actually will make it into the next release, and you'll be able to do things like apply transformations or rate limit to inference pool based HTTP routes and whatnot.
That's exciting. When is it running for the whole summer?
Yeah, it's a medium project, so I think it's I think there's a certain number of hours that it takes, but I think the max amount of weeks is 20 weeks, so it'll be the whole summer. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Nina. I assume you are one of the mentor, or you're the only mentor?
Me and Danian are. So Danian has a lot more inference extension background, so is a good fit.
That's awesome. Awesome. I think I saw some new faces here. So Keith was just mentioning his microphone not working. Understood. It's not the first time your microphone not working, by the way. But I think we have some new faces here. I want to pause here, give them a new faces opportunity to say hi. I see at least one new face. Let me double check. Nathan, I think you are new. Am I right? Actually, we have two Nathan.
This Nathan's new also.
Nathan is new. Yeah, welcome to the meeting. Do you want to give us a quick intro, by the way?
You're talking to this Nathan or the other Nathan? There's
Yeah,
Nathan.
it's you.
Okay,
I
sorry.
think the other Nathan is not as new as you.
Delighted to be here. This is day 4 at Solo. I've been kicking around the Kubernetes mesh world for a few years now. Know a few of the people here, but really excited to be at Solo, specifically focused on bringing the AI solutions to market, supporting that. So really great to be here and meet you all. And thanks, Shane, for telling me about this meeting about 4 minutes ago. Woohoo, I made it.
All right, welcome. Look forward to see your contribution too. All right, the next topic I think is also very exciting about roadmap. I see we have a roadmap board now. I was just looking at it a few minutes ago. So who wants to talk about this?
I can talk about it briefly. This is our first time having a milestone, so it's kind of like everything that has gone in. I think is mostly tracked, especially for new features. If you'd like something to be included in the milestone, you don't have that much time because I think our release is scheduled for May 14th, so that's about a week. But we also have the 1.3 milestone, so if you have something that you really want to get in, like tag a maintainer and we'll add it to either the 1.2 milestone or the 1.3 milestone.
Awesome. That's so cool. Can you talk about the conditional policy? What does it mean?
Yeah, I think John actually is probably the better person to ask about it.
Yep, I can do that. So basically, today you can say I do xDoc or something, but it always runs. And so if you only want to run your xDoc under some conditions, then now you can do that. You can also have multiple conditions, and the first matching one wins. So maybe you have 2 different xDoc servers, then you want to run them, in different scenarios. Now you can do that. The other thing that's nice about this, we haven't implemented this yet, but this is a stepping stone to be able to do multiple of the same type of policy. So if you wanted to run like 2 different xDoc servers on the same request, that would be possible in the future. Not currently, but this is like getting the API and machinery in place that we could do that.
Nice.
I had a question. Is that only for XDOT or also like XProc on maybe that exchange?
So this PR was for XDOT, but I merged this morning the follow-up, which it doesn't do it for every single policy because we went through the list and I felt that for many of them, it was just kind of worthless. But I added XDOT, rate limit, XProc, transformation, and I think there might be one more. But if there's any that are missing that would be useful, you know, we can always add them. I just didn't want to go overboard and add so many and then they never get used.
Oh, makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely all the ones that do remote call up, those for sure, those make the most sense.
Awesome. Thanks for that update. By the way, if you can put your name in the attendee, would appreciate just so everybody knows our project Agent Gateway is under vote. As we kind of submitted a project proposal to donate Agent Gateway to the Agentic AI Foundation, and I think that was a couple of weeks ago, and we finally got movement on the project. Right now, the project is under vote by the technical committee, so they may looking at our notes. So it's good to have you all just so that they don't feel like only 5 people showed up in the meeting. We'd appreciate that. So finger crossed, we should be able to get some type of feedback, yes or go or no, with feedback next week. So maybe we'll have some news to share next time when we meet. Oh, thank you for sending the notes, Nina. All right, we talk about this. Okay, so the release blog, that's the 1.2, right, on the May 14th.
Yes, yeah. So this was something that I think Carlos brought up last week. Having a release blog, I guess, is useful for people who don't want to read all the release notes and just want to get the highlights. So we have a template that just got merged into the website. So if there are any volunteers who want to help out with writing the release blog, it's a good way to get your name out there. But we also have to decide which features we want to highlight. So yeah, I think last time we kind of highlighted some things that had merged, but I put conditional policies and route delegation down. If there's anything else we want to, I think, highlight, we should decide that. We can either comment on the issue or talk about that now. And yeah, then like volunteers are also like, I think a couple of people have commented on the issue. So if you're interested, comment on that.
I would add at least 2 more. One is backend XDOT, which we could give, especially on like a blog, maybe like a useful demo of doing like a token exchange or something like that. And then the other one is the new debugging tool, which we could show off.
Did last time's question help us? Okay, sorry, go ahead. I thought we finished.
No, I was going to say I was also planning to do the first alpha build. We actually had, unfortunately, our nightly build was broken for like a week. I just got that fixed, so now we can do the alpha build, and then that should give us some time for testing before sticking to our schedule next week.
That sounds good. So I guess the question is, do we need help from other people not on the call for the release blog? Or do we have volunteers?
Art, were you thinking of helping out too? I know like you were looking at the release notes.
Yeah, I was just thinking, well, I don't think I'll be able to help because I'll be traveling next week, but maybe Sebastian or Michael have some bandwidth. I'm just thinking loud here. But if anybody from the development team or who contribute on a daily basis to the project has any interest to write on the release blog, I think that would be good too. So yeah, so I just want to know and bug Sebastian or Michael if we don't have a volunteer. So
Yeah, I can help with this one. I added the template already, so we have something to follow. I think Art and I were talking about having a name for the release too. It's kind of tricky with having a monthly cadence. Like I think we're gonna get burnt out of doing a release vlog every month. So we want to keep it short. But yeah, I don't know if people are open to having like a name for a release or just keeping it like this is the May release, this is the July release.
I think it's going to be very hard to come up with name
Yeah.
because we release so often. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe for major milestone, like the big one, maybe it's worth come up with a name because I saw the name has been pretty successful in the Kubernetes land, but it also means you need the kind of like the marketing machine to go around with it too. It's not just a name, right?
I think Art was saying that we could do like a Zodiac-esque, like, or some kind of tie into the month, because if we do like a release per month, then the cadence is kind of nice, and the name can just reflect that. But yeah, I like, I don't know how long we're gonna keep doing this release vlog, because I think eventually we're just not gonna find volunteers to do it. But it is, I think, nice to start at least.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice because John, I think in Istio or Keys, we also do this like a major release, and then the next one is less major, and then the next one is major, so that we don't always feel like every release is major and needs to be treated equally. I don't know if that's something worth considering for Agent Gateway also.
It would be, but I feel we have major functionality. Every release switches every month, so I don't know.
Okay, I was wondering about that. All right, so yeah, but this one definitely seems a bunch of new feature that's worth mentioning. So yeah, I mean, Nina, I don't want to burn you with, I think you probably wrote release blog in the past, so if anybody willing to help with Nina, co-author, so that next time maybe you could be the author, I think that would be good. All right, I think we have 11 minutes. Let's move into the open discussion topic. Art, do you want to cover the doc updates since last time?
Hey, yeah, thanks, Lynn. So just a few updates. We talked about how we were looking into bumping the Hugo version and the Hextra theme that we use for the documentation website. So that has been done. If you've been building the docs locally, what that would mean for you is just upgrading to Hugo 160, like that's the current version. It might work with older versions of Hugo, but I'm not sure if it would. And then as part of that upgrade, you'll notice like there's kind of some maybe formatting changes for how the docs get laid out. Probably the most prominent one is that there's now like this copy to markdown button. I guess I don't know if you want to open the docs or if you want me to screen share, but
maybe screen share would be better. Yeah, because I wasn't sure if you're going to show the build process.
Yeah, let me see. The build process should stay the same, but so now there's this copy as markdown button on each page, and so this lets you or like an agent kind of grab just the markdown. You can also on pages that have guides, this could also potentially be helpful. You can do a copy all the code blocks. So like if you just wanted all of the code blocks from the page to just kind of run quickly yourself, you could get them here. It also has a link to our docs MCP server with like this has been available for a while, but I don't know how prominent people have noticed it. So it's just like a little bit more prominent. You can see a lot of the major clients that you can connect with there. And then kind of maybe more like these are just kind of the web-based tools for these, but you might have seen it on some other websites. And then also a print button we finally have. Actually, people ask us for this fairly often too. So when you do this, it will kind of do like a print-friendly version of it. So that's kind of one of the new things that the theme enabled us to do. And then, so as John mentioned in the link, in the chat, there's a link. We've got a couple other PRs coming that are related to a new style for rendering the reference documentation. So one is for the APIs, and this kind of looks like CubeSpec. So here's like a preview build. And so what this would be is like for each of the CRs, you can now kind of have like a more interactive way of kind of expanding and exploring the spec for it. And then when you click on this, it will update over here on the right, the descriptions here. It will give you any validation rules as well as links to like guides within the docs that use that particular field. And then it's also searchable. So if you wanted to search for, I don't know, buffer size or something like this. The policy page in particular, I think this will be super helpful because it's a very large spec, right? And then there's also in that same guard, we're also doing this for the cell reference. So there's another PR to do that for cell. And those will be kind of the first two that are rolling out. So yeah, I think those are the main things that I wanted to talk about. There was one more thing, but I'm actually blanking on what it was. So if I remember it, I'll let you guys know. But otherwise, we will have the next round for documentation updates are going to focus kind of more on maybe not as user-facing of stuff. It's more back-end stuff. We're looking into changing the way that we do long-term support for the different versions and putting those into branches just to make the right now, the way that we have versioning, it's just kind of complex and there are a lot of files scattered in places. So as people try to contribute, there's a lot of like Hugo shortcodes that they would potentially have to use. So the versioning process will simplify that and then make it less brittle for importing into downstream enterprise documentation as well. So kind of more of like cleanup will be the next focus. And then also the edit and GitHub button that you asked for, Lynn. This new theme update will support that. We just haven't hooked that up yet. It will be easier to do edit in GitHub once we move away from that kind of multi-file based versioning system that we currently use. So yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you, Art. I feel like our documentation is like leading the way for open source projects.
Oh, yes. That actually reminds me of the last point. There is this in the wider docs community, there's this tool called Agent Friendly Docs, and our docs used to have a low score on it, like a failing score, but we now have like an A+ score on it after this Hugo bump. So for whatever that's worth, that's
can you send me that? I would love to see that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's something we can potentially brag about for the project too.
Yeah, definitely. And then I just wanted to give a quick shout out both to John for helping on the CubeSpec rendering for the kind of interactive API style stuff. And then a lot of the theme and Hugo bump work was done by Kristen Brown, who is one of our newer docs members. So yeah.
Awesome. John, I think did we just update our website too? I'm just looking at the link John sent out. Like the agentgateway.dev.
What about it?
I feel like, is this new, like movie?
That was added a couple months ago.
Okay, maybe I just missed it. Okay. And the command you send, that's to run the scorecard?
Yeah.
Oh, let me copy that and save it so I can potentially run that myself. Awesome. And Nina, I think I saw your Google Summer of Code intern showed up.
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to say hi? Abhay?
Yeah, thanks, Nina. Happy to be here. I'm Abhay, GSOC 2026 contributor. The benchmarking framework for agent gateway. All
right, thanks for the quick intro. Sorry, I think your bandwidth is pretty bad, but we were able to understand most of what you said. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, we would love if you continue to show up for this meeting whenever it works for you. So thank you. All right, we have 3 minutes left. I want to pause to see if anybody have any other questions. Thomas, are you all good?
Yeah, I'm good. So so there's that XMCP issue that we've been interested in, and we finally have approval for trying to. So we have an implementation at Apple, and we wanted to see if that makes sense generally. So we have approval to actually, open a PR. So I was going to do that soon, and maybe see if there's any feedback related to how we implemented it, just to see if it makes sense and if it makes sense generally how it works with the community, right? So I'll probably open that PR pretty soon.
Awesome. Thanks for the heads up. Any other questions? If not, maybe it's safe to close the call. Thanks everybody for joining, and see you next time. Thanks.